Hello everyone, this is Jim Okrasinski with your very last video of the semester. Just to mention a few housekeeping issues. I'm recording this Thursday morning, Thursday end of day. The final draft for Essay 4 is due. I believe all revisions for Essays 1, 2, and 3 that you are working on need to be uploaded to Canvas. That is your GDoc link uploaded to Canvas. Those assignments for the final draft reconsideration of grades are open until Friday. Friday, tomorrow, the 8th, end of day. I believe the e-portfolio final submission and link is due on Sunday the 10th. As we wind down, the last item is the final exam, is your social practices and participation letter. So I'm going to explain this because there are many layers given the environment, the changing environments and conditions of the semester. So I'll let you know my thinking here in a second and go over some of the points so you know how to address the components in this last assignment here in your final exam. Now each COM 101, and remember I record one video for both sections, has a separate day and time for their final to be due. I believe section 005 is due on Tuesday, 015, section 015 is due on Thursday. That's your normal final exam time slots. If we were meeting, that's exactly where we would be on those days, and this is when that assignment would be due. So please check the schedule in the announcement, the last one that I posted with the weekly schedule. So here we go. So the social practices and participation letter is a final exam. You have to upload a GDoc link of your letter to the appropriate assignment in Canvas and the Google Drive folder. And if you click on this link, it will take you right to the social practices and participation folder. And I'll talk about the format in just about a minute here. So the idea here is reminding everybody that I need that GDoc link uploaded. I need to be able to view and comment on your final exam letter. So from the syllabus to social practices and participation. So I say here, being a good college student requires more than just showing up for class and turning in assignments. It requires responsible interaction with your classmates, your instructor, and the intellectual material of the course. The social practices and participation portion of the course is worth 100 points. So the components that we originally started out with is attending all or most class sessions, and I've kind of added to that logging in the Canvas. If you're logging in and working regularly and completing discussion boards and assignments, then I have records in Canvas of your activity. Being prepared with your notebook and course material is often critical. Are you downloading the PDFs of the learning materials? Are you able to complete the discussion boards and with the material in mind? Submitting assignments on time and in proper form, and this is really a critical aspect that people need to address here, is because oftentimes were you on time? Were your discussion board posts, your assignments, or your peer reviews, or your reports all on time and in good form? Demonstrating a sense of engagement with classroom and online activities. Remember, I do have classroom observations for the first half of the semester. Okay, were you timely and engaging in writing your responses on the discussion boards? I have all of those, and I can look through all the discussion board posts and see how engaged you were with your course mates. Obviously, eliminating electronic device distraction is not really applicable for the back half of the semester. However, I do have observations from the first 8 weeks, and I think what's critical here, and some people really need to address, is being a constructive and helpful peer reviewer. So, the peer review process is a premium here. That's how we go through the writing process, emphasize the writing process of drafting, revision, peer review, and final submission, even to the point where we're actually going back to your peer reviews to help you revise previous essays. So, were you able to upload timely and quality drafts for the essay assignments? Were you able to write an accurate peer review report because of having a timely draft? And I do want to comment, like I've commented in some of the screencast videos, that a lot of individuals for SA3 and SA4 are writing reports on drafts that were really incomplete or non-existent. I can assure you that in looking at your social practices and participation final letter, I'm going to assess whether you were a part of that process or not. I mean, writing a 400 or 500 word draft is really not adequate for a 1,000 or 1,200 word assignment. Okay, so the idea here is were you able to even peer review? I've fill out the report. I looked at many peer review reports over the course of these last 8 weeks where the report wasn't filled out, but a review was written on it. I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, there's no name. I don't know what's being reviewed. All of this is the consideration here for social practices and participation. So I say here in the final reflective letter to me, I will ask you to assess your social practices and participation over this semester and argue for the grade you think you deserve for your social and practices and participation only. Do not indicate in your letter that you deserve a specific grade in the course. That grade for the course, as I've been consistent with, is determined by the points you've accumulated, and that is determined by the work you've done over the course of the semester. So I'm suggesting here that you have about 500 to 600 words. The final letter must be in correspondence format and address each of the components separately and thoroughly. As with any argument, provide evidence to support your assessment of the social practices and participation over the semester. So if we take a look in the social practices and participation folder, I have a document here, exam format. And so what this is actually the correspondence format. As many of you know, I do teach workplace writing over at College of DuPage, so pretty familiar with how a letter, a correspondence, should be formatted. So this is the format, and the format is critical because much like writing an email for your cover letter, you are writing me a letter. Everybody should know how to construct a letter and, more importantly, how to format and how a letter works. It's just a skill that you'll take forward into the work world. So I need your information here, and I don't want specifics. You can just use the college's address if you want, the date you're writing the letter, my name, and please spell my name right. Okay? I'm getting tons of essays, and everybody's spelling my name incorrectly. Professionalism dictates in a letter that you spell the recipient's name correctly. You can use Moraine's information here, all right? And then you have the greeting. And I say here, begin typing your text here using single space, no first line indents. As with the cover letter, break up your paragraphs by chunking your response, allowing for a white space and enable a quick and efficient read. And as we scroll down, sincerely, and then you can use some of the script fonts to sign your name. If we were doing this in the lab in a face-to-face situation, you would sign it with a pen, but it is a letter format. So one thing I want to emphasize along with the components here, I mean, there's no doubt we have had a challenging semester. If you wish to address how our semester and moving from a face-to-face to an online course activity was affected your abilities here and there, I could see some of that being addressed, but please, this is a social practices and participation letter. Support your argument for your grade. This is not meant to be some sort of a rant. I mean, we're all involved in this, and we're all having to deal with the switch to online activities. So the idea here is address it, but you're arguing for your portion of the grade. I suggest 500 to 600 words. However, if you run a little long, that's fine. Just chunk your information, as I say in the template there. So if you're going to use that template, make sure that you at least do this. Here we go. Let's make a copy before you type in it, and work in that copy and preserve the original for everyone in the class. All right, so I believe that covers just about everything for the final exam. So as we conclude here in the next few days, up and through the final exam time slot and the posting of grades, you should be checking Canvas for comments on your assignments and checking your Moraine Valley email. If there is an issue with one of your submissions, I will attempt to contact you via email, comments, and Canvas. Until such time as final grades are posted, you should be checking. If there is a problem and I cannot view something or something didn't upload and you get a 0, that will affect your final grade. So be attentive to email. Just don't click it and forget it, because if there's a problem, it's going to reflect in your final grade. All right, so that being said, good luck and enjoy the summer.